Hey guys, welcome back. It's Katie. Right now I'm focusing on my CCR, and today I'll be focusing on question 4, which states, how did you integrate technologies, aka software, hardware, and online, in this project? So first I will be focusing on the hardware that I used throughout my project. The first form of hardware that I used is an iPhone 12, which was our camera, and we chose this device to be used as our camera because it's easy to use for us as we are familiar with it and we use it on a day-to-day basis to take photos and film videos, etc. So it'd be easy and quick for us to use for our film. It also fit with the equipment that we would be provided with from our teacher. That would make it easy to use our equipment. That way there's no issues with not being able to use it because it doesn't fit. And it was also easy for us to transfer our footage to the school computers. We were kind of limited on what we could use to transfer for our school computers because our computers are restricted. So filming on our phones would make it a lot easier to transfer footage, as all we would need is a wire and a hard drive. It was also cost effective for us as we already owned, the phone, so we wouldn't have to go out and buy an expensive camera. Because also iPhone 12s also have a very good quality camera as it is, so it would be kind of silly for us to spend money or have our teacher rent us a camera for our project. Another form of hardware that we used for our project is a handheld Steadicam. We use this for our shots because it would ensure stability for our film, and we wanted to make sure that all of our shots and our angles were very smooth and you were able to see things without it being shaky, which also adds to how professional our film looked, and it made it look very clean and cut. Handheld Steadicams are also very lightweight, which allowed for easy use for us. Kind of more of the upscale Steadicams are very heavy and hard to use without being trained in it. And since we are kind of beginners in the film industry and starting off in AICE Media Studies, it would be the best option for us to use something handheld. It was also cost effective as we were able to rent one straight from our teacher, so we didn't have to go out and buy it ourselves. We were able to get it and rent it from our teacher. And it also allowed us for more creative freedom because we were able to do a lot more angles and a lot more shots and camera movements with this, such as slow zooms and over the shoulder shots. There was no shakiness and it was easy for us to film that way, even though we did utilize a lot of handheld camera shots to kind of add to the more juvenile feeling of our film and kind of the more panicked feeling. We did also utilize a lot of handheld Steadicam shots to ensure that you would be able to see our characters very clearly. Something else that we utilized in our film was clip microphones. Since we were filming on the beach, it gets very, very windy, so we wanted to make sure that the audience was able to hear the dialogue that was being said throughout the film. So clip-on microphones really helped us with that, and they were also kind of not visible on camera, so people didn't know that we were using them. They were hidden under the clothes, so that way they weren't picking up wind. They were also very easy to operate because all it took was a charge and a click of a button, and we were able to connect it to our phones. That way we wouldn't have to go any extra steps to transfer the sound back into the video when we went onto our editing software. The next hardware that we use for our films are light fixtures. The light fixtures that we use, we rented from our teacher. They were from the brand GVM, and they were very, very user-friendly. At first, we didn't really know how to operate the light fixtures, so my partner and I had to look up some YouTube videos on how to hook in the batteries and how to really work with the lighting colors, such as if we wanted warm tones or cooler tones. But after a few searches on YouTube, we were able to figure it out, and it became very easy for us to manage. It gave our film a very professional appearance throughout, and it made it a lot easier for us to film on the beach at night because we were scared that we weren't going to be able to see the characters in our shots at night because it was so, so dark. But the light fixtures really fixed this issue for us, and it really brightened the scenes. So here's a photo of us using all of our hardware throughout our film and the light fixtures, and as you can see how it really brightened up our film and made our film look a lot more professional. We also used a flash drive in order to transfer all of our data onto the school computers, and it allowed us to have more storage because the storage on our phones are very limited, as we did have photos and videos on our film prior to this. We also use a USB phone charger in order to hook our phones up to the computer to transfer all of the data onto the flash drive, which was really simple for us to do. There was no restrictions on the school computer, which makes it really, really simple. And it was very quick. All it took was one class period, which was really important to us as we were very constrained when it came to time. So next, I will be moving on to the software that we use throughout our film. For editing, we use the software Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. We chose this software because we did have prior experience using this software from our midterm project that we did a few months prior. So we have some prior experience and we know some of the features that are on Adobe Premiere Pro. There were also more options for creative choices on Adobe Premiere Pro compared to a lot of the more beginner editing apps and editing tools that we could have used. So we felt a lot more comfortable using this for our final project because it would give our film a more professional feeling and would allow us to kind of educate ourselves more on Adobe Premiere Pro. It allowed our film to have a lot more clear edits as well, such as audio, shot cuts, everything. We were able to add a lot more transitions throughout our film. And the software was already installed into our school computers, so we didn't really have to worry about downloading it or anything like that. As you can see here, it's very simple to extend or cut the film shots throughout Adobe Premiere Pro. So we were able to do that very simple and easy throughout our editing process. And there was also a lot of features that we could use for transitions and kind of just like overall visual editing throughout our film, such as the dissolve feature, which we used frequently throughout our film in order to, make our transitions a lot more fluid. There was also a lot of options for title sequences, which was really important to us as we're beginners, and we were very stumped on how we were going to make our title sequence and make it look a lot more professional, but there was a lot of options and a lot of templates already added onto Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. That way we didn't have to waste a lot of time in our editing time focusing on our title sequence. We were also able to edit the color throughout our film, which was important to us as we were filming in the dark. So there was some adjustments for us to make, but we were able to adjust the vibrance and really sharpen the clips so that way it was a lot clearer. And we were also able to edit the sound, which was important for our beach scenes, and we were able to make the sound a lot more clear and concise and make sure that you were able to hear the dialogue that was being spoken throughout the film. We use Freesound, which is a free sound downloading app, which has a variety of different sound choices that you could choose from. And it was important to us that we were able to download through an MP3 format, as that's what we would be using to export into our Adobe Premiere Pro. And through Freesound, we were able to choose MP3 and we were able to really narrow down through their advanced search options, as shown right here. So we were able to really narrow down our search options through that and pick MP3 sounds. And we were also able to narrow it down through tags so we could get the specific sounds that we were really wanting for those shots. For our movie poster, which isn't really related to our movie, but I still wanted to include it as I thought it was important, as it has to do with our advertising section of our film. We used PixArt because we didn't want to waste a lot of time throughout our production process on our movie poster. We wanted to focus more of our time on our film, so we used PixArt because it was free, which was important to us, and it was user friendly. We were able to make a lot of those edits very quick. It took no time at all, and we were able to make many stylistic choices and still make our film poster look very professional. As you can see here, we made a lot of stylistic choices, such as making our poster look worn and adding a lot of different light elements into our poster, which makes it dynamic and a lot more unique compared to other film posters that I have seen in the past. Next, I'll be moving on to online elements that we use throughout our production process, and one really important online thing that we use is Blogger, and this is what we use to upload everything throughout our production process for Cambridge to see. We chose Blogger because it's beginner friendly, and we were able to organize everything that we've done in chronological order, and it was very simple for us to transfer all of our stuff from either OneDrive or on the school computer onto Blogger. As you can see here, everything is formatted in chronological order. That way it's easier for me to kind of look throughout and see what I've already uploaded, and it's easier for Cambridge to sort through everything that I've done throughout my production process. We also use YouTube in order to upload our final project, which we have not uploaded yet, but in the future we will. And we have also used YouTube in order to upload all of my CCRs and everything having to do with our film and our CCR questions. So as you can see here, it was very easy for me to upload. All I had to do was click a button and post those videos, and they're all on my page and public for Cambridge to see and for my teacher to see. There were some issues that I faced throughout the production process that I would like to reflect on. One of those problems that I've faced and my partner faced are time restrictions. So since we were filming our project for, a final exam, our Cambridge AICE final exam, we did have some time restrictions in order to match everyone else who is also, completing their exam or their final project for the class. So that made it a little difficult as we had only about 2 months to be able to film and edit and produce everything. And we had a lot of choices and stylistic choices that we weren't able to include due to the time restrictions that we had, and we didn't want to waste any more time. Another issue that we had more corresponding to our cast is conflicting schedules. So we really had certain dates that we wanted to film on, but since we had a bigger cast, some people who were included in our cast weren't available on these dates. So it made it hard for us to really pick a date that everyone was available, especially because we were filming at night. We wanted to make sure that everyone was available on the same day, especially on the date when we were filming our group scenes. We were also having issues with shortage of equipment, as we had limited equipment to choose from because we had to rent our equipment from our teacher. And there's many people who are taking the course and filming at around the same time. So the equipment that we need, some of the equipment that we needed, wasn't available when we needed it. So we had to wait until the equipment was available for us to rent. However, we did persevere, and I wish I could show you my face and tell you this in person, but instead I'll use stock images. We persevered by communicating with each other and communicating through all of these issues in order to find certain dates and certain times that would work for us, and really talk to each other and figure out what things we needed to include for our storyline of our film and what things we did not need to include. We also persevered by communicating with our cast members in order to find a date that really fit their schedules, as well as they were doing us a favor by participating in our film. So we wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable with what was going on at every time. We also persevered by communicating with our teacher about what things we were having trouble with throughout our film production process, such as our equipment, and communicating with him what things we needed and what times. That way he would be able to let us know when those pieces of equipment were available for us to film with.